I found a new free-to-play football game that could be the next big thing, and even though it's still being developed, the idea of playing fast-paced 4v4 online is super intriguing. I played online against 7 other people, and I can't stress enough how insane of an ending it was. My best comparison for this game is the yard in Madden, however, it's going to be free to play, so sit back and enjoy what I'd say is the most intense game ever. And the game started with my team forcing a 3-and-out on Aaron Rodgers, so we were getting the ball. And after the other team decided to punt it to us, I got to choose my offensive player, and I decided I wanted to play as the cheetah. At first, I was really struggling to figure out the controls and how to hold on to the ball, but on the next play I made my first catch and then I got railed from behind. Like all the other skill positions, a real person was controlling Joe Burrow and he was hitting me in stride for big gains. I was surprised at how well I was playing as I caught my first touchdown ever on this play, and then Tyreek celebrated in style. We decided to go for 2 instead of taking the extra point, and that ended up being the right decision as we converted with this pass. However, on the opposing team's first play of their second drive, I was using Minkah Fitzpatrick and I missed the tackle on DK Metcalf. He would end up taking it 75 yards to the house as nobody could come close to catching him, and they would also get their 2-point conversion to tie the game at 8. I'm not sure what the guy using the quarterback was doing here as he threw it to the opposite side of the field and Rashad Fenton ended up intercepting it. But on the next play, we got the ball right back when Fred Warner got his first interception of the game. One thing I had noticed was there was a ton of big hits in STG Football, but this was one of the biggest plays of the game and I was the one that made it. The defender missed the ball and I would run with it all the way to the house to give us the lead right back. I was also hoping to see the gritty celebration at some point, and I don't even know how we got the 2-point conversion here, but I'm definitely not going to complain. On the last play of the first quarter, our defensive line was able to get in and sack the quarterback, but it didn't even matter because the best professional football running back, Jonathan Taylor, my favorite team star running back, picked up the 2nd and 36 with this one play. If you haven't already noticed, you only get 2 sets of 4 downs on a drive, and the first down marker is at midfield. The way you select your plays is also very simplified to keep the game at a fast pace, and if I'm being completely honest, I'm almost 100% sure I didn't touch the receiver here, but my presence made him collapse anyway, and I'm not gonna lie to you all, I got completely embarrassed on this play. He swerved inside and got all the way down to the 1-inch line with this run. But it was 4th and goal, and somehow we were able to keep them out of the end zone on one of the greatest defensive stands ever. The idea of this game was just fun. It didn't look the best, but the arcadey style was very enjoyable, and I didn't record the other 7 people's voices, but the trash talking was hilarious. The game is still in development, but I definitely think it has potential with it being free to play. Anyway, back to the commentary. I think everybody's player got rocked at least a couple of times throughout this game, and right before the half, once again, I missed the tackle and gave up a big play because of my user error. So they were within 2, and then on the 2-point conversion, we actually ended up getting an interception. I think this is one of the more interesting plays in the video because you can see how the player mechanics work. It's a little finicky, but you can end up swerving around all the players over and over again, so you can actually get some stick on this game if you end up getting really good at it. And we had 20 seconds to score before halftime. I honestly don't have any words for this play. Somehow after picking up the first down, he fumbled, and then Antoine Winfield Jr. picked it up and took it all the way back to the house. We had lost our lead before halftime when we had the ball in our possession, and we definitely choked the whole ending to the first half, so I was not having it. I think this play fully sums up the game and how the arcadey style can be super fun. I swerved inside and then I got railed. After that, I watched a lineman pick up the ball just to get laid out a couple seconds later, and that was how the half actually ended. I got to be the captain in the third quarter, which meant I picked the plays, and so as a receiver, I picked as many pass plays as I could to boost my stats. But the guy playing quarterback for us was not making good reads. Somehow he was more blind than I am, and we ended up falling behind 12 points after he threw this pick 6. And since I couldn't play defense on the 2-point conversion, it was not looking good for us. I'm not gonna lie though, I was running some clean routes. I had the fastest receiver in the game, which did make it really easy to outrun everybody, but I was putting up video game numbers. To be fair, it is a video game, but I can't wait until one of my players does the gritty celebration. On the 2-point conversion, DeAndre Swift ended up falling short of the end zone, and he was very disappointed in himself. On 3rd down, we unfortunately gave up the big play, but it didn't even matter because we forced a fumble seconds later and then our lineman took it all the way to midfield. So with good field positioning, we had a chance to go down and tie up the game on this drive. And once again, I was making catch after catch, and this time I held on through the contact. I don't know where to start on counting how many big hits in this game there were because it felt like it occurred every other play, and the guy using George Kittle ended up making this touchdown grab. And then it was time for the gritty.
I say right foot creep, walking with that heat.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the 2-point conversion because we messed up our timing, but I was ready to come out on defense and deliver some massive hits to the opposing team. I am a little confused how Dalton Schultz was the one that caught this ball, but that's how the third quarter ended, and it was 4th down, so we needed a stop. Unfortunately, I played possibly the worst coverage I could, and since the blitz didn't get in, there was nothing I could do to get back and stop the touchdown. I say right foot creep, walking with that heater. The game could have been over, but they overthrew the 2-point conversion, so we still had a chance. And so with 1 minute and 15 seconds left, there was still plenty of time for us to go down the field and tie up the game. And we got inside the red zone a lot faster than I was expecting. The defensive lineman tried to chase down our quarterback, but he evaded him, and then he dove for the end zone, but he fell an inch short. Believe it or not, an extra inch makes a bigger difference than you'd think. We scored the next play, and now the gritty was on repeat. This is where my teammate made the dumbest decision ever to take the extra point when we were down 2. I don't know how that even happens. It seemed like we had somebody on our side that wanted to play for the other team. Either way, it wouldn't matter because after we gave up this long touchdown, we still had a chance. I don't know why they ran it in, but they took the extra point and we were down 8 points with 23 seconds left. So I got somewhat open, but it wasn't enough and they got an interception. However, you'd think that would end the game, they'd run out the clock, and we'd lose. But that didn't happen. They got overconfident and threw an interception right into Nick Bosa's hands. So with 8 seconds left, we didn't have much hope, but I got open and then I remembered that I had the fastest receiver in the game. I ran and ran and ran, and all of a sudden I was in the end zone, but keep in mind, we still needed the 2-point conversion. And believe it or not, we were able to get it, so we went into overtime. I can't lie, it didn't go well, and this was possibly the worst start we could have had. I missed tackle after tackle, and I couldn't believe how dominant this receiver had been all game, but I finally stopped him at the 1-yard line, and then they scored on the next play. But they took their extra point, so a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would win us the game. I can't sit here and act like that would be easy. We were struggling, and the opposing defense was actually locking us up. Their big hits were destroying us, so it was 4th down, and we had to get it. I called for the ball and made an extremely clutch catch, and then on the next play, somehow I ended up with the ball in my hands, and I took it all the way into the end zone. We decided that we were going to go for the 2 and the win. However, we didn't get it, and the amazing comeback fell short, except it didn't. Apparently in overtime on this game, you play until the clock hits 0, so we still had a chance to get the ball back. But that would be much easier said than done. We were going to have to start burning our timeouts, and they were trying to just run out the clock, but my big hit out of bounds ended up saving us a lot of clock they could have killed, and then they tried to get cute by wasting time and running all around our defense, but we delivered the big hit, and we got the ball back. So with 8 seconds left, we had a chance to win the game again, but it wasn't looking good for us. We had one more opportunity, but time ran out before we could get a timeout off, and we ended up losing by 1. So that was STG Football, and as a small company, they're just trying to make it a free-to-play game for everybody. So if you want to sign up for their beta that's releasing on PC in Q4, I'll have a link in the description so you can go over to their website and find out more about the game.